mind blown by that. Like you.
To tell you some real numbers about Argentinian pesos. Back, just going on Google and looking up the chart, and you go to the max setting. Back in 2004, it was worth 35 cents. Now it's worth 1. So
1 cent.
1 cent.
Whoa.
So in the past,
oh my God.
in the past 16-ish years, their currency has gone down. What? Not 40x. That's like what? 97% or something like that. Like something 97.5%. That's just ridiculous. I can't even imagine. So having a company like Lemon give people Bitcoin cash back on every purchase with that card kind of eliminates this problem of deflationary, of like putting their money back into pesos, which I think is a really great idea.
Well,
because then people,
if you think about it,
yeah,
it almost acts like a 401k. Every time you spend some money, you put some money away in Bitcoin because there's no way you're going to use that expensive network to, unless you absolutely have to.
yeah.
But it just acts like as a more 401k that's, easily more accessible to access if needed.
Yeah. I think it's a really great idea because it gives people a savings account. Like Bitcoin can be the savings account for people in underbanked countries. Like it probably is going to be, like, I think proof of work coins are really good, like, savings vessels if you're thinking long term and if you are like living in a developing country, because your bank may not be reliable. Like you may not even have a bank around. You may be cashing checks, and it'll also just help like when I was speaking with Michael Cotton of Mel Gold, and he said something interesting was that everybody in the world has some gold, at least in some kind, and something like this is just making sure everybody in the world has some Bitcoin of some kind.
Yeah, I'm more of a Monero fan when it comes to stacking proof of work coins. That's just me, though.
Do you think that's really going to like make it, though?
If anything, I feel like it's just a better Bitcoin. It's more decentralized because it can't be ruled by ASIC chips because it has a random X algorithm in it. It runs only on CPU. Can't even use a GPU to mine it, which makes it more decentralized and more people can, access it like on a laptop and, participate in the network. And then it's actually private. Like that was like the big thing when Bitcoin first came out. Like, ooh, it's private. But realistically, it's, not as private as, you would think.
Bitcoin's not private. It was actually meant to be transparent, not private. That's the whole point.
Well, it was you're pseudo anonymous. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. But what but your wallet. I do think Monero will always have a place because it is anonymous. I mean, if the U.S. government's willing to pay $700,000 to the first hacker that can crack it, that's value in my mind. But I don't know. Privacy is priceless to me, though.
I mean, true. I also value privacy. I used to be big in Zcash. I think we talked about that before. You're not a supporter, but like to be honest, do you really think that Monero will even be able to scratch the Bitcoin market cap? Like it will probably never get there.
Well, once they build that atomic swap in there, then it will have the ability to access the liquidity. Because then you're going to be able to atomic swap your Bitcoin for Monero at any time. And they're building that into Monero so they could, think about it. Then you could, like, if you really want to hide your Bitcoin, then you could just atomic swap it into Monero once that comes out. That's a pretty huge update in my opinion, especially for a proof of work coin. And it only costs like 10 cents to move a Monero. Like, that's it.
I can see Monero being like a storage of of assets, right? Kind of like a gold is now. Like I could have mattress money like in my house, in my safe. That might be my Monero in the future. but I'm gonna have a hard time using that same, mattress money. Like cash is not king like it used to be. Like to make big purchases, like more than what, $5,000 or $10,000. A lot of locations now they have to KYC. It's hard to even buy a car cash like that. If you buy a house, like if you have down payment money, like you got to track it. And in the mortgage business, if you have a down payment more than $5,000, I got to track where that came from in the U.S. to make sure that it wasn't foreign soil money. Somebody trying to come in and buy property without going through the correct tax process and all that kind of stuff. So I could see it being a storage of value, but for everyday currency and exchanges, I mean, I don't think Bitcoin's the answer for that either. But at least Bitcoin could be exchanged, and I do like that you could, for some instances, I think there is that transparency, and I think that has a wider acceptance base right now, anyway.
Yes,
I think it's an interesting point, and I definitely see the value of the privacy of money. I'm also just playing devil's advocate and saying that if your coin is a proof of work coin, then the purpose of it is just to be a currency or store of value, doesn't have smart contracts or anything like more advanced to it, there's really like not much point of having any one besides Bitcoin, because you really only need one. Like, to be honest, you really only need one. And like I think all proof of work coins, like if they're doing the same thing as Bitcoin, basically, like Monero is basically doing the same thing as Bitcoin, but in a private way. Like, honestly, the U.S. government, if they accept Bitcoin, will probably just outlaw something like Monero, and then it'll be really.
But it's impossible to. I mean, like once they build that atomic swap, and then, like I said, it's more decentralized. It's not like they can go down and close the 5 Chinese mining farms like with Bitcoin. Like you could literally run a node on Monero with a laptop. You could literally do it with a Raspberry Pi. Like it requires little to no computational power, and then like anyone's capable to.
Can you still technically run a Bitcoin node on a laptop? You'll just never actually get any Bitcoin because you won't win that race. But you can still run a node.
Yeah, you'll just be hashed out. Like, it's just you'll be unfair. Like you just won't compete. You're gonna need some kind of graphics card.
Yeah, statistically,
at least
you'd never win.
Well, how does Monero's hash system work? Does it have to do with the power that you provide? Like,
well, they make it where ASIC chips and GPUs can't participate, so they can't just like outthink you. Only like regular home CPUs work on Monero. They use a random X algorithm, and it's the only way you can mine with it is by using this. And that way, you can't be out hashed by these ASIC chips, mixed with these like GPUs on racks.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't see. Yeah, I feel like privacy coins have a tough road because like they kind of, especially with the recent developments, which Congress is working on with crypto, where they want you to report any transaction worth $10,000 or more.
If anything, I feel like that would boost them more because then you can hide it all.
Yeah, but they're probably going to come down really hard on non-transparent cryptos because that exactly for that reason it will completely circumvent the guide or the whatever.
All I got to say is with Monero, good luck. Godspeed if you think you're going to track transactions with that, because once it moves into Monero, like it's gone. Like, you can literally do that. You can literally do that kind of meme.
All right, let's stick a pin in the Monero stuff and marinate on that, and we'll flip it back over to some algo stuff. So
let's get some algo stuff in.
Here's I'm going to throw out a topic out there: Tiny Man versus Algodex. Exchanges over $10,000. Should that be implicated? Should people know what's going on an exchange like that? And also, what's up with like the cryptic tweets Tiny Man puts out? They said it's going to be an interesting week, but then I don't know, it wasn't that interesting. Algodex did some testnet stuff, right? They're posting some a little more transparent updates, but I don't know anything about Tiny Man's. Anybody got info besides their new Telegram group?
Yeah, they were going to launch their testnet this week. I spoke with Khan, who's their CEO, and yeah, they launched. Pretty sure they launched on testnet, or that's what they were going to do. That's what that cryptic tweet was about. They're not ready to bring it to the mainnet yet, but it's really promising that they're going to just be taking steps to test it and stress test the systems and debug, and yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
It is.
Yeah, they're bringing liquidity pools to all ASAs, so that will be huge, and I think it's pretty soon. I think they're gonna launch at the same time as Algodex too, so we will be able to, as you said, Monty, just to see who can do the job better and faster.
Well, I think they're inherently different by design, so I don't even think they'll be competitors. I think I see Tiny Man as a vessel for yield farming and liquidity pool generation to just go crazy on Algorand, and Algodex is probably more of just institutional traders using it or building apps on top of it or out of it, because it's such a simple concept. It's very complex under the hood, but the concept is just order book exchange on blockchain, which is non-custodial. So it's just a great tool that can be built upon probably in a lot of different ways. And I think it'll be really popular amongst large players.
Algodex
Well,
is
I
more
feel
of a
like
traditional model, right, for a decentralized exchange, whereas Tiny Man's doing the automated market makers. They're doing some other things you talked about, like liquidity pools, right?
Yeah.
the liquidity pools will be like the whale smorgasbord, because then they can get like stable prices depending on liquidity.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I feel like the Algodex will be more of the retail trader. You know, I feel like that's where we're gonna like feel more leverage for our algo and stuff like that on like the Algodex platform.
Well, I don't think they're going to have any leverage capabilities.
Well, I mean, when we get like kind of like when we get like Algo Bank, we could leverage it on there because we could take loans out on our algo. You know what I'm saying? And then we could trade it, so forth, like on the Algodex in a way.
Do we know how many ASAs they've got lined up for their initial release?
For Tiny Man, I think anyone that's what Ken told me. Anyone would be able to open a liquidity pool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna cost like nothing to make your own pool on like Uni.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cool projects I don't have anything of yet. Like I don't own any Planet, I don't own any XPS, I don't own a bunch of these other ASAs. I've stuck to the kind of the main ones. Even Yieldly was difficult for me to get initially, right? That whole Uniswap thing was kind of a pain in the ass before we got Mexi.
It was, yeah. Yieldly's been looking good on Mexi now though.
Yes, it certainly has.
You mean price action wise?
Yes.
Yeah, it's starting to come back. I think it's starting to turn up in a few different indicators. And I'm really just waiting. I think what you were saying about the Polygon bridge, just the more things they announce, the more valuable it'll become. And especially if they integrate some type of governance with the token. They haven't done that yet, right?
Not yet.
That'll also be really helpful. Just to grow that network and incentivize people to have a say in what Yieldly is doing and what direction they're going to go.
Well, they also just reformatted the lottery as well too. If you guys didn't see that,
I did not see that. Tell us about it.
Well, they now added 3 tiers to the lottery. I'm not sure if it's implemented in right now because I haven't looked. But there's going to be like someone from like let's say with a small bag, like all the way to like 5,000 coins, will be in a certain tier and earn a certain yield because they're in this tier. But then they'll have those 3 lottery winners now. That's why you see the name change to prize gains now. But the more algo you put in, the less chance you'll have to be in all these different drawings, but you'll earn a higher yield from your Yieldly now. Like it goes up crazy high now, like 20% if you got a big bag of algo in there. So to make it a little more fair for the little guy to win lotteries. And to add more prizes and make it more, more consistent, more winners.
So
like
if I'm
that.
a whale, I'm going to get less chance of winning an algo bag, but I'm going to earn more Yieldly.
Like double than the average person.
Nice.
Wait, so the whales are now earning the most Yieldly?
Yes, but they have the less chance of winning the lottery now.
Wait, okay, that seems kind of flawed to me. Like, screw the
Definitely
lottery.
different, right?
I mean, the lottery is just a random winner. But if whales are just getting more Yieldly, if they already have the most Yieldly and the most algo, that's kind of a problem for distribution.
Not necessarily, because then you got to think they also had the best chance of winning the lottery as well too. But now they have only one lottery they could win, and then the little guy has 3 different lotteries they could win. With still earning a 10% yield is not bad. That's still more than algo. You could literally dump your Yieldly right there because it goes by the price of Yieldly with algo, and that's how the percentages are decided on there. So if you wanted to, you could put your algo in there, dump the Yieldly immediately, and get more algo technically by interest than you would by holding algo.
See, I'm not really understanding that yet, and if you could help me understand it, how can Yieldly provide a higher return on algo than the natural algo staking? Like, who's losing out? Like, there has to be someone on the other side of that trade getting their algo skimmed if you're able to earn 10% APY on algo using Yieldly, but only 7% on the normal wallet. So who's getting their
Well,
algo?
if you think about it, if you think about what they're technically doing is they're releasing this much Yieldly out every month. Okay, they got a certain number they're releasing. It's designed by way. Okay, so naturally, that's how much you're going to release, and that's how much you can buy out of there, and that's how the percentages are decided. You know what I'm saying? It's 10% now, but will it stay that way? That just depends on how many people go in. It can't be like an indefinite 10%. But depending on where the price goes, then you start seeing some more value in it. People start holding a little bit more. And it's just a strategy they got going on. And I mean, like, not saying that everyone's always dumping their Yieldly either. It's just the good way to help get supply. Because I mean, everyone always gives some free tokens away, especially like when they're just like a standard project. If you look at Uniswap, they gave away so much tokens when they first released, like on Coinbase and Binance, just for people to make a purchase. That airdrop right now, if you would have held on to it, is worth $11,000 right now. So, I mean, they're inflating right now because they're a low market cap and they could be less affected by it.
Billy Beckwith on my YouTube chat has a good point. I think he might have identified like a miscommunication, Ebu. So you get paid out in mostly Yieldly, not in algo. So it's not like they're giving you more than 6% in true algo. They're paying you in Yieldly, which then if you want to convert over to algo would be more algo in theory, as long as the Yieldly price holds up, but you got to jump through those hoops or get to Mexi or whatever, right? And so they can reward extra in Yieldly than they could in algo.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Because you're technically all you're technically doing with that algo in that lottery is you're buying it from the stakers that are staking Yieldly, and that's why we get algo in our staking as well. So that percentage of like I think it's like 15%, 20%, somewhere around there, is used to buy the algo from us. You catch what I'm at the Yieldly from us staking, and then we get algo in return. So it's almost like they're doing trades right there for us, just through staking.
Yieldly is skimming algos, though. I mean, that's part of their gig, right? So I mean, they got all of us to invest all of our algos. They're collecting the 5.75, algo return or whatever, and a portion of that they put back into the lottery, and a portion of that they use for their own operating expenses, in addition to the Yieldly that they've minted themselves, right? So that's how they're going to be able to grow and then, you know, in theory, help liquidity in the future too.
I believe so.
I have a question for you all. You know, like we're waiting for so many MMAs. I think 3 for 2022, and Algodex and Yearly and many other projects coming up, and they all need liquidity. They all need liquidity for their order book, for their pools, for everything. My question is, how much of liquidity do we have in the community that can provide enough liquidity for all these tools to work? Like, this is a luxury type of situation, but it's still a question I'm asking. Maybe at the beginning it will be pretty dry, like all of these pools and order books might be a bit dry. What do you think?
I mean, it is like that because I've been playing with liquidity on Uni with Yieldly, you know, and when we were like over a penny, it was really sweet in there. Like I was literally making like $300 sometimes a day in fees. But now that when the price dropped down like 0.6 and stuff like that, it was not a fun experience. I was maybe earning $20 or $30 in fees, like a significantly less, just depending on where the volume goes and where the hype is with these projects. Providing liquidity can be almost unbeneficial at times unless you know when to put it in.
Yeah, I think volume on Uniswap is what, like 30K or something now, right? It's not a whole lot.
It went up at one point of the day, like to like 60K, like when we shot up to like a penny.
I think it was at 100K at one time.
Oh,
it was. That's
before
what I was
Messi.
making. Yeah. That's what. Before Mexi, I was making fat money on Uni pools with the Yieldly, like fat money. It was really nice.
Bilal, to answer your question, I actually think that there will be a lot of liquidity added to, especially the main pools like Algo to USDC, or like Algo to Yieldly, or those. I mean, those are pretty much the only two like tokens that are out right now. Like maybe there are a few more, but I mean, there's so many algos just sitting around. Personally, I haven't gotten into the Yieldly pools, and I would rather put my stuff in a Tiny Man pool because it just seems more natural to me. And there's so many algos just sitting, like there's nothing to use them for right now. That's the only thing. That's the only reason Algorand hasn't really taken off, is just because Ethereum moves around the Ethereum ecosystem. Ether moves a lot. Algo has NFT marketplaces, which are the first thing that it's working really with, but Tiny Man and Algodex will really get things moving. Like I'm sure if you look at Algo Explorer, I'm sure the transactions per day are going to go vertical once those protocols launch. And also the other problem is USDC on Algo is hard to get off of Algorand, like the blockchain. There's not many exchanges that take it right now. The Algo
It's
USDC.
growing.
Huh?
It's growing. I mean, Mexi just added it.
Yeah, Mexi
when they added Yieldly.
Yeah. Mexi is one of them that actually does take them, but that I think they're like one of 5 or less exchanges. All of them.
Yeah, it's just like Q Coin, OK Coin, OKX, and Habui, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, so not really like the mainstays in the US, like nothing like Coinbase, Kraken, FTX. So even the other day I had some USDC and I was like, damn, I'm gonna need to open a Mexi account to like get this off of here. But if we had Algodex or Tiny Man, literally could just do it instantly. So I think
just a quick news to go into your idea, Ibu. We had a talk with the Asian and Australian region before today, and actually Algomint will provide a tool that you can swap any USD stablecoin to any other one.
Yeah.
So we will be able to, in one click, to but maybe you know that because you talked with Michael Cotton. I didn't know that. And we will be able to swap any USDC to any NUSD stablecoin, which is like incredible.
Nice. I'll have to see what the fees are because, like, right now I've been primarily using Q Coin and Mexi because I've been trying to get some like Algo USDC like ready for it because I feel like USDC, the stable coin, like I know like Coinbase is probably the best option for like an American user base because I just don't see FTX like throwing Solana down the hole with that. You know, that's just personally me.
Didn't Chris from Reach say last week they were working on Atomic Swap and they were going to make their code like open, so if anybody wanted to get a copy, they certainly could, right?
Yeah. They're working on it and on stable coins.
I think when it rains, it pours. Like it's going to hit, and we're just going to have all of this liquidity all of a sudden. I am worried though. Like what about the governance mechanism? Like, are we all planning on tying up a significant amount of our algos in the governance? Are we going to leave some in Yieldly? I personally am not. I'm gonna withdraw almost everything from Yieldly. I may leave like a small token amount there just to say I'm still participating and I got a chance. But I think we're all thinking we're going to be in the governance, right? Is that going to dry up?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think like for me, it's clear that the majority of my algos will go to the governance because it's to me it's the easiest way to deal with it instead of checking liquidity pools every now and then, etc. I don't know about you. What about you?
I'm personally doing half my algo and governance, and the rest I'm going to keep working on external ways.
Yeah, I'm also on that that exact same idea of going to put half the bag into the governance and just let it be, and then I want to keep the other half of my holdings just for other projects that might come along and have an interesting use case for algos, you know, because once they're in that governance, you can't take them out until you can take them out at any time technically, but if you take them out before the quarter ends, you won't get registered as like getting rewards. So you kind of need to keep them in there for the 3 months at a time if you want to get those rewards.
I personally just plan to keep that half the bag just constantly working. Like I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm just leaving it in there, you know, and then everything I earned from it just goes right back in. You know,
you're talking about
that's just in the governance.
Yeah.
And then like the other half of the bag, it's going to be my liquid, like kind of like how you say, you just never know what I might need it for. And I don't want to have to worry about pulling anything out and getting hit with penalties or fees because you never know what exciting thing might come across in the way and you might need some algo to get you there.
No, definitely. I mean, I would love to participate in some of the early liquidity pools on Tinyman because I've never added to a liquidity pool on Uniswap, so that would be something new for me and kind of exciting. I just want to try it out, and like I'm willing to put a few $1,000s in there just to like, I don't know, just to be a little drop in the ocean and just be there, maybe earn some fees. Could be really useful, especially if like price action turns bearish on assets, then it's like really useful to farm yield in like liquidity pools, just providing like stable coin liquidity. So that's probably what I'll keep the other half of the algo bag for, is like just providing liquidity for different DApps that launch, or maybe get some NFTs or something like that. But yeah, I think like I really want to help the algos flow around the system. I feel like that's we should lock a lot of them will be locked up for governance, but I love how the system is also scaling. So it, depending on how many people lock up their algo, there's a varying APY. So it's just like a solid reward no matter what.
Yeah, I think it can go to 33% the first quarter. So I don't see myself like I'm thinking about putting like the majority, or if not all, to the governance. But if I choose otherwise, what would you recommend? Like let's say I have like if I have like, let's say 10,000 algos to put somewhere for DeFi. Where would you put it? Can someone tell me a plan?
Well, I mean, it also just depends on timing and situation. You know, like if I had like 10,000 algos to spare, I wouldn't mind leveraging that algo, especially like when Algo Bank comes out and we're like in the height of the market. And I'm like, I want more algo, you know, take a loan out on my algo, you know, and buy more algo and then take a load out on that algo, leverage it, you know, as far as I want to do it. But it just really, there's going to be so many options later. And that's why I just want to make sure I have that liquid ready for that option. And I can always leave it working on Yieldly or some that's easy to access and easy to pull, you know, where in governance, I would rather treat it as like a more like a 401k, a savings account. Like I just don't want to mess with it unless like, you know, something catastrophic happens. That's just my personal, you know,
Yeah.
financial plan with
Speaking
my
of
portfolio.
401k, I Trust Capital, totally easy to work with, guys. You could start up a 401k or Roth or whatever you want to with them. U.S. based, sorry, Bilal, but they were easy to work with, easy to open up the account, easy to roll over with, easy to get algo. It was pretty sweet. $2,500, I think, is the minimum amount to start an account. And then it's, if you do the Roth angle, it's tax free. Now you can't, I don't think you can like stake it or move it around or do governance. Like they have like the, you know, I guess the custody, but you could own some algo tax free. I know we've been having conversations about taxes lately too. So that might be interesting.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Especially with that new law that hopefully won't get circumvented. I mean, taxes are a pretty big thing in crypto right now.
Yeah, U.S. based taxes are going to be. They got me kind of scared. Honestly, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, makes me want to move to Portugal.
Me too.
I was just looking at it, honestly. Just checking that out. I got a buddy just moved to Spain too, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Couple things. So on the YouTube channel, so Mike Jones says, "Hey guys, you screwed up the definition of the Yieldly. What do we call it? The lottery." So I don't know, and I don't know enough to like disagree or whatever. So, but Mike says it's 3 different pools. The first one goes up to 10K, and you're entered to win the main pool. Plus, they have a separate one for 10% of the total winnings, what used to be the total. And then anybody from 10K up to 200K is entered in to win a 20% pool plus the main one, which is 70, and anybody over 200K, so all the big whales, there's 70% left over. So if you own 0 to 9,999, you're entered in the little mini contest and the main one. And if you're from 10,000 to 199,999, you're entered to win a 20% pool and the main one. I don't know if that's true or false, but that's what Mike says.
Yeah, that sounds more accurate. I know mine wasn't. I just kind of skimmed over it.
Yeah.
And I saw them talk about it in Telegram, but I just knew they changed the dynamics, and they seem way better than they were before, in my opinion.
So that's 3 tiers. So I guess it gives like the, I saw a comment the other day that somebody put some algos in and then they go like check their percentage of like chances of winning, and it was 0%, and they got really discouraged. They put in, 400 algos or something, which is, that's 400 algos. That's still a significant amount, but they had literally like less than 0% chance of winning when they go like check it, because it's only like 2 decimal points, and their chance of winning like a real matter is pretty low. So
yeah, I figured it'd give the smaller person more chance of actually, winning something more viable. I mean, there's that guy that won with 7 algo that I still think is wild. He won the
right,
like the 20,000.
It would be awesome to have anyone from the listeners to just pop up and ask questions, and feel free, my friends, just to raise your hand and ask to speak.
Somebody had one in my chat a few minutes ago. Let me go back to it. I think it was Emmanuel. Emmanuel, if you're still listening, from Italy. So he's got a question. Do you know if Algorand official mobile wallet will become also a mobile node allowing you to stake? And that's a technical question. I have no idea.
I think long term, the whole goal of Algorand and the protocol is to be able to participate in the consensus without being rewarded,
without being a node.
because it can be a node. I think in the future we will all have a node or many nodes in our computers, in our phones, and we won't think about rewards because it will be so light. That's what Silvio said also. It will be so light that we won't even expect any reward. And if we do that, decentralization will be huge. It will be the most decentralized blockchain ever. So, but then the staking will disappear anyway because of the governance. So
Well, I mean, not necessarily, because all the algos that we use in transactions do go into escrow, and will be used to reward staking after governance.
But I don't know if the governance will ever stop, because we can also the community will. I don't know what's the plan for 2030.
Well, that might be the plan. That might be the plan after governance, after max supply. Is they're good. Like every algo we use, like that gets eaten in transactions, goes into an escrow, and I imagine especially as volume increases, that bag will get much bigger and be able to incentivize the governance later on. I know that's the plan because I've watched that in a really detailed analysis, because he got it wrong and then he recommented in the comments, because he originally said that algos were being burnt when that wasn't true. They just go into an escrow.
Yeah. I know about the escrow. And the question is also the relay node, because that's an investment. They cost archival node and relay node will cost like to maintain. So probably part of this escrow would have to be directed to the investment by the relay nodes. I don't know.
What does it take to run a relay node?
They just released some instructions. It was kind of cool, actually. It seemed relatively simple.
Yeah.
What's the hardware?
So they actually, it takes a few different steps, but the problem, I guess not, it depends if you consider it a problem, is that you don't get rewarded for running a relay node like a proof of work coin. But you can actually just run a relay node just to contribute to the decentralization of Algorand. And there's this company that just launched this basically like quick onboarding process for running a relay node, which is just a one-click thing that you can just start running your node pretty much instantly. And you can choose from like what server you want to host it on. They have a bunch of options, and I really like that. It's just something that can help increase the amount of nodes. The only problem is I wish they gave some type of reward to people who run nodes, because that is one of my criticisms of Algorand, to be honest, is in the early backing like stages, they contacted a bunch of institutions and universities and got them to run relay nodes, and are giving them huge rewards, like tens of thousands of algos per week, but nobody else has access to that. That's one of the only things that I criticize about algo. But it is easy to run a relay node now with that Hypernet. It's called Hypernet is the company.
Yes, that's what it is.
I mean, I guess they could it's just really hard with the consensus protocol, because the idea behind it is like, anyone can participate in consensus, but you'd have to make two separate reward programs for that.
I think there are two kind of nodes, obviously, like the participation from one side and relay node from the other. Relay is just for the network, like the blockchain, to be fast and efficient. So that's why there are some criteria in terms of speed, and like you need an investment to not slow down the blockchain, and that's why they have a minimum bandwidth for every relay node that wants to become a relay node. So it's not so much about participation, because the participation can be made on a phone or in a very small device. The relay node needs to be, because they will connect all the participation nodes, so they connect them, so they need a high speed, and also to save all the blockchain. So that's the point.
Oh, well, I might definitely look into running one when I move to my new location, because I can get really good fiber there.
Yeah, the purpose of the system to not reward relay node runners is because the strength of the system comes from just holding algos because of pure proof of stake and the cryptographic sortition lottery, which is the verification protocol for the blocks. So that's the elegance, like described by Silvio. He didn't want the fulcrum. He didn't want the pressure point to be the nodes or the validators, because every single algo out of the 10 billion algos can be a validator. So that eliminates the choke point of nodes, or like proof of work systems like rewarding validators. But I think what they had to do when they first started the project in 2018, 2019 was they had to get high quality nodes running instantly. And so they had to incentivize reliable institutions to hold and maintain those nodes. And without any, especially with the early price action of algo, they had to make sure that the people with those earliest nodes aren't going to turn them off. So they have a high reward system for them. Everyone else gets the rewards, the normal APY, the inflation, the 7%. But that is the one thing. But those accelerated vesting rewards will end in 2023. I think they're on track to do that. And if the algo price itself increases, that will only accelerate that process until those relay nodes stop giving rewards. And then at that point, probably it could, if the price of algo goes up significantly, not to talk about really price, but this is actually just relevant to the vesting. If it goes up significantly and quickly, it'll accelerate that process and could end in 2022. It's on track to currently end in 2023. And if the algo price drops, it'll probably go till 2024. But by the maximum of 2024, there should be no more algos left in that accelerated vesting. And I'm sure some of you have heard about this 30-day moving average. When the price gets above, I think like 33% above the 30-day moving average, or 50% above the 30-day moving average, the Algo Foundation has the right to sell tokens for fundraising. So and also the relay node runners. So that will end in 2022, and that will relieve a lot of the downward pressure on algo.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah, exactly. A great description of the system.
I also think like when we get more development, we'll also see just way less sell pressure, period, on algos, but even from them, when they have different ways of like, having their algo work for them besides just the algo itself. I feel like that will relieve a lot of the pressure, actually lock a lot more in the network,
That's true.
Exactly.
Even with
they could only sell, so they couldn't like invest and do what we will be able to do next year. So that would be an interesting dynamic, because they might not even sell and put any sell pressure on the price.
Yeah, that's true. They could just
exactly.
Sorry, did I drop out?
Yes, you did, sir.
Oh, yeah, you're totally right, Bilal. They could just put it into a liquidity pool, or just do whatever they can use algos for at that time. I think that's a great point. So it's not just going to be, oh, we got the algos and now we just need to sell them. Could put it into Yieldly. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's really interesting. Did y'all hear about this this trading platform called Genesis Trading, which is listed algo?
No.
So this is a really interesting story. So Genesis is a high net worth, high value client crypto exchange and custodial platform. So I'm going to read you some stuff from their website.
This is the one out of the UK, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And just going to give the people listening some context on what we're really working with here. You can only work with them if I'll just read you this. Genesis products and service are available to select qualified institutional investors and accredited individuals who A, have assets equal to or greater than $10 million, B, who are interested in trading amounts equivalent to at least $250,000 per transaction, or 2, lending or borrowing at least 100 Bitcoin, 1,000 ETH, or $1 million, whether in cash or stable coins. So this just happened this week, where they one, listed Algo on this exchange, and 2, allowed Algo USDC to be accepted and swapped and traded on this exchange. Gemini, the trading platform, uses Genesis as their custodial service, and a lot of other big. I think Coinbase also uses them. So this is really huge, I think, because these are big players, big players now that can finally start to probably accept Algo USDC, and also just exposes Algo to a huge market of institutions. So I don't know if y'all had heard about that, but I think it's a really big development.
That's a great point. Yeah. I totally agree that this is one of the biggest steps. And also, if you look at the Genesis, they are part of the Digital Initiative Group, DIG. And DIG is the same that is from the MIT Digital Initiative. So it's the same group. If you look at their website, you can find the links. You can connect it to the MIT, and it's all part of Catalini. What's his name? Catalini, I think. And this is all the same group on the background to build a very strong institutional framework. So then companies and big players can come in. So they are building this framework that is huge and that can support big institutions. And Digital Currency Group and Digital Currency Initiative are the same. And it all comes from the MIT, and they have been supporting Bitcoin for years. And now they are switching to build the ecosystem on Algorand.
I think this goes to show that there's rich and then there's wealthy. So like Arrington and Borderless Capital, they came in and they do like, $10 million, $20 million, accelerator programs. And then there are wealthy people who supply them with the money. And same thing here, like there are exchanges, and then there are the exchanges that the exchanges use. You know what I mean? Like there's always another level.
Exactly.
It's next level, exactly.
It's actually unbelievable. Like when I learned about this, I was like, wait, Gemini, the exchange with billions of dollars of assets, has their own exchange. Like what is going on here? And then it's actually an amazing development.
Well, I've heard, I think it was Tyler Winklevoss. I've heard him talk about Algorand before, because someone was interviewing him. And then they started talking about other exchanges besides Ethereum, and the first one that came to his lips was Algorand.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a CNBC snippet, I think, that made the rounds a little while ago. That was a good one.
Yes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Gemini dollar on the Algo network. I'd more likely see them do that than take USDC, because they are a pretty tight-knit exchange. Maybe that other one that you said they might own, that they own. I didn't know they owned another one. But yeah, if they do put Algorand on Gemini, it would be really cool to see a Gemini dollar on Algorand. I feel like that would go really far, because we can start integrated onto their exchange, because I know that's all they really want to take. That's why they don't have any other stable coin besides DAI, I believe, on there. But that's because it runs on Ethereum.
That could gain traction.
I think. Yeah. I just posted the link of the digital currency group, and so you can have a look, because the digital currency group is not dealing with like one blockchain, is dealing with the whole industry. And I think Algorand have been playing to work with the complete industry. That's why they target like big custodians and they have big institutions, because they don't want to be just another blockchain. They want to support any kind of traditional institutions to come in blockchain and to come on top of Algorand, and mostly Algorand, really.
I really hope Coinbase does some USDC on Algo soon, like because I'm getting tired of sending Ethereum over. It's getting annoying, especially with the recent jump in fees lately. Like
Yeah, it's been ridiculous because of the NFT craze. It's been absolutely like crazy. 52 guai for transactions, $200. Somebody saw I saw a tweet that said somebody did $1,000 gas fee.
yeah. So
Like,
I watched someone do 1,600 before just so they
that's
could make margin.
nuts. That's nuts.
Just so they could make margin.
That's insane. Like, I don't get how anybody can do that and think like, yeah, I want to keep using this. I'm just so confused. Right? Like, it doesn't. I know that the only thing is that it has sticking. Like, Ethereum has the sticking power right now because it has all the dApps. But just if you're spending hundreds to buy a piece of artwork, also for hundreds, geez, like I don't know. I couldn't like keep doing that. I also saw a really good tweet that was like the EIP 1559 protocol upgrade is actually helping the biggest holders the most, because the biggest holders are the ones who are staking their ETH in the upcoming proof of stake protocol. Like there's already a lot of ETH staked in that, and so they're not spending anything on gas fees. They're not even using their Ethereum. It's straight up locked up for their governance. And the people who are trying to flip NFTs and use Uniswap for trading are really the ones triggering the burn. So they're actually the ones paying for paying for EIP 1559. Like the little guy is paying for the price to go up while the big guys just watch their bags rise. I just think that was a really interesting analysis of it.
Yeah,
and a
Uniswap is
problem.
definitely yeah. Uniswap is a big contributor of that.
Speaking of NFTs, I made an NFT this last week, guys. Have any of you done that?
Nice.
So I went on to Algogems and I made an NFT in literally like less than like 2 minutes. It was super easy. Threw it up there just to see what would happen. And I gotta tell you, like creating the NFT on Algorand, super easy. The transaction went through. I linked it through my Algo wallet, and I put it up for auction for like 24 hours. I sold a drawing for like 29 algos or something like that. I netted out like 23 or 24 algos. But I gotta tell you, like that was the first one I ever did, and I'm obviously a noob, but it was easy, swift. It was painless. So I don't know, go check it out.
I don't know. I don't draw, so I mean I've made a token.
Maybe you could take some photographs, or I don't know what else you could do, but it was painless, and I think like that goes to show like even I could do it. Now the barrier to entry, like I'm almost concerned that like I don't want to get flooded, kind of like the ETH does, right? So what's that, OpenSea or something like that, whatever that is. Like there's just a bunch of like low quality stuff out there. I like how Dartroom seems very selective on like the artists that they've let into their ecosystem. So it keeps the quality up, and they're selling pieces for 1,000 algos, but it was still easy to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. The main point of NFT is the curation. Like, do we have someone that can really select what is art and what is not? I was trained as an artist too. Like I draw and paint, etc. And when I see some NFT, I really think like this is not art. This is not. This has no skills. There is no talent, and that shouldn't be considered like an art piece at all. And we always need like some kind of selection to not make the platform look bad, because some platforms look bad if the content is like of very low.
It just depends on what kind of art you want to do. Like there's going to be like actual like art, and then there'll be like collectibles things like we're seeing like with the CryptoPunk thing. Like it's insane what some of those things are going for. And
Yieldlings.
I don't know. Yeah, yieldlings. People sleeping on the yieldlings.
Yeah. Those NFTs are going.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for
What is that?
Stitch Bob. A guy, one of my mods in my community made a whole bunch of like pixelated like flamingo art, and I'm talking about like within my Telegram, like he sold out in one day, man. It was insane, and he made a whole bunch of like cool little flamingo, like CryptoPunk like flamingo art,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he just
Is that one guy in this room has that? Lito787? Is that one of them?
yes, that's one of them. Yeah, Raul has one. That's who that is.
Gotcha.
I think he's hatching some more this week, right?
Yeah. He's coming up with some more.
I'm gonna have to move
I
fast
got,
this time because the resell on those suckers it climbs quickly.
yes, I got a number 4 that got put away. I'm gonna just keep it.
Yo, people got to
But,
put some more effort into their NFTs sometimes, though. Like I'm kind of tired of trying to be sold NFTs, which someone just like went to some like they looked up on Google like make this image pixelated and then just put like a Google image in it, and then we're like, yeah, it's a punk. Like, no, I'm sorry, like no, to put some effort in.
I think there's definitely
some
an art to like getting something pixelated like that and having it still be unique. Like there's a ton of ways like you could just do exactly what you just talked about. Like just go degrade a picture now and make it look pixelated. But I think there's definitely an art form to making it look good.
Yeah, there totally is. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like, and I just see a lot of people in the fringes of the algo community kind of they make their Twitter account like yesterday, and then they DM me like, hey, I just made these NFTs, like you want to buy one for 50 algo? And I'm like, bruh, like you probably spent 1 minute making that. Like, no way I'm buying that. This is worth nothing. That's the thing about NFTs. Like, just because it's an NFT does not mean it's actually worth anything. Like, the value is still in the art, not in the fact that it's rare. Y'all feel me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally
100%.
agree. There is another thing about NFT that that's a question actually, because when you have an NFT and someone copy it, if you cannot like make him pay for copying it and using it, like legally pay, it's not protected. So where is the whole legal industry to back up the promise of NFTs?
It's not even there yet.
I think that'll just that'll just come from the verification process. Don't trust, verify, kind of thing. And you can always just tell from the asset ID.
Yeah, but
And
even if it's verified, the guy will say, "Okay, mine is a copy," and what? Like, not everybody will verify, and I will use it as if it was mine, and who cares? Like, and the guy can steal your picture, your art, your music, and we should be able to call out some legal enforcement, because enforcement at the end, that will protect the art piece.
Yeah, there should be some protections there and some. I don't know. I mean, it's not a perfect system yet, right?
definitely not.
No, Bilal, you have a good point, because let's say I publish a song, and I also back it up with an NFT and just to say, yeah, this is the original, like this is the original copy. Like with Opulus, let's say I publish a song through Opulus. Then somebody else rips the song and puts it on YouTube. And I'm not making money off that because it's on their YouTube channel. Now it's not as simple as just saying, oh yeah, I have this NFT, you got to take it down. I think there still have to be lawyers and like legal things involved, and the space of the amount of people actually knowledgeable about that amount of crypto law is tiny. There's like no crypto lawyers, especially in America, and they're so expensive. So you have a good point there, B-Law, where someone can make artwork and someone can just copy it and re-upload it. And you can say, yeah, I have the original, but they technically won't have to delete it. unless like legal things get involved, and then that's a whole expensive process. So there is a bit of like
a void.
Yeah, a void of like, what's the best word for it? Like
Protection, like yeah, a void of enforcement.
Yeah,
we have to enforce the ownership of something, because if anyone can steal it, and even if I scream everywhere that was mine, if I cannot take it back and not allow this person to use it, it's his. It's weird.
maybe it's time we create a automatic NFT verifier, kind of like Shazam for songs. Y'all know that app where you can like scan the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like you.
Well, if we're definitely going to need like an index of some sort eventually on Algo.
Yeah.
Just to filter out everything.
Mm-hmm. True.
Because eventually it'll grow so big that we're going to need something to, like you said, copycats, or the limited, the limit of like, misinformation will be out there like crazy. So there's going to have to be some kind of index at some point to help you, sort through all the information that's going to eventually be stored on the blockchain, especially all the projects and NFTs and etc.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a very interesting project. I think it was called Your, like JUR, on VeChain, and they had this kind of automated lawyers, like contract and lawyers. So the idea was a group of lawyers came together and made this automated suit, like to sue someone automatically, or to deal with like conflicts around blockchain and supply chain. I think if there is a project like this on Algorand, that might give more protection to artists around around the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
Yeah. I have something to say about NFT, about the security of it. When you said that you don't know the value, everybody can copy it and can use it, and the artist is not protect. But the main point is not to protect the artist, is to pay him. So after he is paid, he don't care, really. So he send it, he sell it. So you have the money, and after, okay, maybe someone can copy it, but the main fact is that the artist have his money because he sell it.
I think it's a good point, but there's also, in a lot of these, the royalty aspect as well. So if they keep it exclusive and there's only one copy of it, then you're more likely to have a resale market for that, I would think, and you would make the 10% royalty or whatever you agreed to up front. But if there's 100 ripoffs, then why get the original? I think it loses some value, and maybe you won't make as many royalties. That would be my devil's advocate to that. But I hear you. Like I sold my little NFT experiment for 29 algos. I'm not rich off of it, but I don't know what's going to happen to it after. I have no idea where it went or what's going on with it. It's just gone.
Well, maybe when we start seeing anywhere, if we do start seeing like clouded like copycats, copy pasta, maybe that's where smart NFTs will literally start developing their true value in a way.
That's interesting. You know what? I don't even know how I will earn royalty. So I get like a 5% royalty off mine. And honestly, like I use my Algo wallet for like, tips off the YouTube channel, that kind of stuff. And like today I got like a 2.1 deposit or something, like an odd amount. And I just thought, okay, that's a weird tip. But I don't know, maybe I didn't check it. Like I didn't check the how you can check the notes or whatever. I didn't check to see if it came from, Algo Gems. I don't even know what it would be tagged as.
Yeah, maybe you can find it from the smart contract that you send your algos to.
I was actually talking with Steph from Dartroom today, and that's the one you sold your NFT on, right?
No, I didn't use Dartroom. I used Algo Gems. Dartroom is cool, but you got to get like accepted by them, and they didn't want me. because I'm not like a real artist.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like a PR stunt or something they would, but they have real artists on there. I just threw like a little sketch on Algogems.
A little stick figure.
And do you know what their royalty payout is?
I'm working from memory. It was either 5% or 10%. It was a round figure.
I'm gonna look at their site now. That's interesting. And they have a token sale. Oh, you can buy their token? Oh my gosh. That'd be interesting.
The website still says beta, but it was fully functional, like when I went through it.
Yeah, they're alpha now. They ain't here for no beta shit.
No more beta now, all right? Well, it was easy.
Yeah, going back.
That's good.
Going back to the NFT question is what Chris said last week was interesting, that instead of having like just an NFT and ASA, if you have a token that opens the rights to access a document or a file on a certain server, and if you can access this product only through this, using this kind of security NFT, that is the solution. And I think he answered it pretty well. It means that we can sell the right to access a document and no one would be able to access it unless he has it. But if we copy this document, when we access it, we copy it and then we sell it again, we again have the problem, but this is not protected. I don't know how to go around this.
It's the same problem with streaming platform like Netflix. You can access to Netflix, see the film, you can copy it.
Exactly.
But people still pay Netflix to have access to it. So yeah. I think it's just a way of thinking, a way of consuming the art, the crypto art. Maybe now it's just the start, and people just buy, sell, and don't really know how to evaluate and how to compare what is a quality one or a true one or a copy. But with time, I think it's like the film community, and all will be structured, and everything is going to be more and more what to say in English, structured. Structured. So I think it's just time, we need just time to see that. And I think I saw a project in India from Algo. It was kind of streaming films app. And you play with tokens and everything. And I think maybe if you can crowd that with NFTs, you can make something good. Totally. I can't remember the name of this project.
I forgot the name. Yeah, but you're right. It's a kind of Netflix for Indian market with movies and series. And I even used it. I watched many movies because there were free movies at the beginning. Yeah, you're right. Like, I think, but that will be interesting to see how it develops, because it's true that the main public will not like steal or cheat everything. They will still pay their subscription and use the product without even knowing it's protected by blockchain, and they won't try to download and copy the documents. But yeah, it was just a question about like extra protection for like black markets.
Yeah, I think the tech can do it. So I'm sure we are going to see something like this. And it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, totally. Alexandre, can you develop a little bit about your background and about like the banking industry, and how do you perceive crypto from your perspective as a banker?
Okay, so I'm a retail banker. So I deal every day with financial issue, but for usual financial issue from people saving money. So I can see very all the kind of people with money, very poor people and very rich people. And I start to look at the crypto, cryptosphere, maybe more or less 1 year. I'm learning about it. I'm a lot of reading, and I start to understand more what is behind that. And first of all, I was like, maybe I think all the people who just start with crypto, I just see Bitcoin and the store of value. Okay, so first of all, for me, as a financial advisor, I said, okay, it can be a good tool for my customer to have the money in a good place and store the value, and they are not afraid of inflation or money issue or fees, because when you hold money in a bank, you pay fees just for hold. So if you want to have interest, you have to pay fees about 2% each year, and you are not sure to win money with the investment. So I saw first of all the crypto spheres like an opportunity to storage the money, maybe with the time win some value, but with low fees compared to the traditional financial sphere. And the more and more I learn about the crypto sphere, and I saw that the fees are so expensive, and more I was looking with the Ethereum spheres and everything, and I said, okay, what next? We cannot do a thing like that for time with so many fees. So I start to look at Algorand, and I'm very interested in the Mint Algo project, because I see, I don't know how you say in English, but I can translate it, maybe cloner des produits. Je sais pas comment tu le traduirais, Bilal.
Ouais. The product.
Yeah. I mean, you give Bitcoin and you have Go Bitcoin. You give some USDC and you have Go USD. I don't really know how the tech work, but as a financial person who work with shares and kind of asset like this, I imagine something like you can put, I don't know, I have shares from I don't know, a French company, and I put it on the I give it to someone, he hold it, and I have a Go share. Okay, I don't know if it's technically possible. I don't know if the current regulation allow that. But imagine you can share, you can trade your shares with so low fees, and you can. It's amazing. Everything can be so cheap.
Yeah.
So I think if we can connect the traditional finance system and the crypto system, the liquidity going in the crypto sphere is going to rise very fast.
Technically, it is completely possible. Like there is, I guess you all know Messe.io, like the exchange Messe.io, who was the first to sell micro equity, and they did that for. Actually, I have it here on my phone. I will check it in front of you. They have the whole market, like Tesla. They have Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Apple, etc. And we can totally do that with ASAs and exchange them with Go BTC, Go USD. Go USD can allow us to swap immediately from any kind of USD stablecoin, and I think they will add a lot of them. So we won't even have to go through like the exchanges. We can just do it from withholding Go USD. I think you're right. Algomint can do something incredible and be a cornerstone to bring huge institutions like yourself, Alexander.
Yeah.
I love that Algomint project. Overall, like just everything they're going to do for the community, I think is great. That whole Australian like hub is doing like some awesome stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're launching from an algo launchpad like TinyMan,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is also really cool.
I think the
And
IDOs or
Algorand
like the
too.
launchpad stuff is going to be phenomenal. I like there are so many people, like it's palpable in the community. Like on my YouTube channel, like I just hit 1,000 and like all of a sudden I have way more trolls than I used to. I think it's like when you hit 1,000, it's automatically like here's some more trolls. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of like
But it's like
trolls on the Monty
It's a good
channel.
sign.
if you don't got if you don't got haters, then you're not doing something
Right,
right.
right.
But
There's all these
it's
haters
just
now, but I
simple as
think the
that.
biggest hate is like they haven't done enough. Where's the DeFi projects? Where's the wrapped stuff? Where's the where are these projects? Why is there only one bridge done? What's going on? Like what? How come the foundation is doing this? And there's just so much like they want to be rich quick, right? Like when Lambo. And like
Yeah, win
but I
Lambo.
feel like man, it's like literally like it's about to happen though. Right, like I don't want a Lambo, but we might get a Tesla or something. We'll see. But like all these things are about to happen. The Algo Man, the Tiny Man, the liquidity pools that Yieldly is putting on. Speaking of which, I think Yieldly's liquidity pools, cross chain bridges, yes. I think all of these things
we
are like they're about to come to
we
fruition.
we had someone ask you a question here, Crypto Nerd, on my Telegram. He said, "Crypto Nerd, question for the space or get good as well. What's the difference? Bridges that they are building on Yieldly, you don't think that our liquidity pools are worth on you?" Let's get him in here so he can explain. He's in here.
Is he?
Can someone invite Lee? I'll invite him in here.
I saw that like in passing. I was trying to pay attention and not scroll too much, but I was in the Yieldly the price chat. What is that price chat unofficial? Yieldly price? What's the name of that?
Yeah, Yieldly price. Yeah.
It's a good group.
I
Really
invite
active.
him in here.
But I think the question is whether or not the liquidity pools in Yieldly or TinyMan are going to be more effective. And I think Yieldly. Honestly, I think they just had that first mover advantage, and they've already got a bunch of people staking, and they've got, and I think those cross chain bridges are going to give them an advantage, and I think we're going to need more liquidity there.
Yeah, well, I also think it's not currently a winner take all situation. There's so much space. There's space for a lot of players. Like it's not. Mm-hmm. I don't think Yieldly and TinyMan are going to step on each other's toes. I don't think TinyMan and Algodex are going to step on each other's toes. I think they're all actually offering different things. That's the best thing about that's the best thing about this developing ecosystem is that all the projects coming out that we've talked about today, like Yieldly, TinyMan, Algodex, AlgoMint, all different. It's not like we have four liquidity pool dexes dropping at the same time. They're all serve different purposes and therefore will attract different crowds. And I think that's what's great. We have Yieldly prize games and staking rewards, and Algodex, simple. The Algodex is tokenomics. Like one thing I kind of like about Algodex is that they don't even immediately care about having their own token. At first, it's literally just going to be released like for free and just to use, like because they're so focused on just giving the community a dex. Like they're not like, okay, we're going to wait till we get our tokenomics right. Like they don't even have a token to start it. Like that'll come in 2022. Like when they've figured everything out. But what they're focusing on is just getting people something, which I just think that's great. It's like, and AlgoMint too, the ability to bring all those coins together from Ethereum. And this is one thing that Michael Cotton was talking to me about when I interviewed him. Sticky money. That he has this term that he likes to use called sticky money, where he wants people to bring liquidity and bring wealth over from ETH and not bring it back. Like there has to be enough here on Algorand to keep people happy with whatever they want to use DeFi for, and I think that's just what's building up right now. So all these companies and projects that are going to be working in tandem and building off each other, I think it's just literally going to set fire to the whole thing without getting too preachy, but I'm very excited.
I feel you.
Yeah. I'm I'm bullish as well, sir.
I'm very bullish. With Algo Mint, so they're gonna do a fee system. I'm pretty sure, like a slight fee system. And the one thing that's great is that because of Algorand's fast transaction speed, there's going to be little slippage for large transactions, like millions of dollars, and that's really attractive to whale investors because they don't want to be losing $10,000 to $20,000 on a trade, just inherently, if they have like a high slippage on Uniswap or something. So that's why the different uses of Algo Dex and Tiny Min will be important. Like people will have different needs and different desires and different like ways their money should work, and just more options is better right now. Like just more options, the better.
Did you know the fees for Algomint? Because I read the fact on the website, and I saw 0.2% of fees for the operation to change your currency. I'm not sure if I understood that, but do you know more about the fees on Algomint?
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty accurate. I'm sure their website.
Yeah, that's just a taker fee.
Yeah, I'm sure their website is accurate. If you also check out my interview with him and I'll drop that in the chat, but just if you go to the Algo HQ YouTube channel and go to the Michael Cotton interview, he does mention it at some point, but it's a 30-minute interview, so you'll have to search around. I know it's definitely low. 0.2% I think was lower than he even said in the interview, so maybe they found a way to monetize in a different way, or this was more effective. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty low. I think having a slight fee is good because it will avoid a tether situation, where there's like no fee, but there's actually like not much collateral. Not to bring up tether, but yeah, I think that's the one thing I was concerned about with Algomint. Like, I hope they can actually keep all the assets and they don't start like lending them out and kind of like banking with them. But do y'all think they will do that? I would ask Michael Cotton about it, but what do you, Alexander? Go ahead.
I talked with Michael today, and we had this question raised actually, and the Australian law is clear. You have to back one by one. There is no question about. You cannot just play with the custody. You have to back one by one, otherwise you go illegal. And Algomint are super legal, and they're following the Australian law very, very closely. So we can be sure that it's always backed 1-to-1.
Oh, that's great. That was the one concern I had, but that's great, to be fair.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it like it's like wrap Bitcoin, not like 1-to-1?
Yeah, everything has to be 1-to-1 if you don't want to be in trouble with the Australian law, because they can be very, very strong. And they don't joke about it. Like they give like you said, like Monty said before, the Australia is a hub for innovation globally, because the US and the Australian government are so linked together that they let the Australian try new things like blockchain, like all the innovation always starts with, Michael said that also this morning, all innovation starts with Australia, within Australia, because it's a small market that we can innovate without taking huge risk like the American markets. And then when it works and it proves its point on the Australian market, to bring it to the US. And that's what's going on with the blockchain initiative from the Minister of the Economy of Australia. There is actually a huge amount of money by the government to support blockchain, and they are very, very liberal in terms of regulation. But you have to be very careful with the Australian dollar, and you have to be very careful with the backing of your assets.
Yeah, that's great to hear. To respond to you, Cody, I don't know if wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped ETH are backed 1-to-1. I think there's a bunch of versions of them, so I think they're all different. I just know about Tether. That's like Tether is not backed one-to-one with dollars. So
yeah.
So that was just what I was hoping that Algomint doesn't do, but it seems like they're not going to do it, which is great.
Yeah, all the Go BTC stuff is going to be legit. But and I forgot about those actually for a minute. I don't know why, but all of those are going to be available, on the dexes as well, right?
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
That should be that'll be a hot market.
Huge.
That will bring huge amount of liquidity, exactly, because
Yes.
institution will go straight, as Alexander said, they will go straight to Go BTC, Go USD.
Because it's so cheap. It just it makes sense. I'm very excited for the launch of that project. Very. I was there some this week, and I'm gonna look into some.
Alexander, can you please tell us your position about when clients want to invest on BTC, etc.? What is your position or the position of your bank, or how do they treat such a demand?
As a financial advisor, I'm not allowed to give advice about crypto things. So for my company, the crypto assets don't exist, and I'm not allowed to speak about it or advise to invest it. But I have many customers asking me advice about it. So usually I just said you can go there to have information, but I don't give them advice because I'm not allowed to. But many people are very interesting to invest in, but they don't know how it works. They don't know what's really what's the meaning behind. They only know Bitcoin. Okay, they just know Bitcoin and said it's a quick way to have money, and they don't understand all the ecosystem of the crypto sphere. So
yeah,
I think people are not. Je sais pas how to say.
Tu peux me dire en français si tu veux,
Ils ne sont pas éduqués.
Yeah, there is a big lack of education in the field of blockchain and crypto, right?
Yes, that's right. And I think with time, people will understand what is really the crypto spheres. Because for now, for them, it's just some things they don't understand on the computer or on the phone, and it's just game. They don't feel that it's very serious. And
yeah.
with the Algorand project, it is what is the main thing I think for a traditional advisor like me is the team and the people working on are credible. I don't know.
Legit.
Yeah. And I think it's helped a lot to give people. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, do you know why your bank don't allow you guys to talk about? Is it because they are not ready? Is it because they don't understand it themselves?
Because they don't have their own crypto. If they had their own crypto and then can advise products made on their own
it comes
crypto,
down to money,
maybe.
huh? They can't make money on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's just that. Because they don't have fees on it, so they don't advise it.
Yeah, because they cannot make money out of it, so that's why they prefer to hide it to the general public, right?
I'm not sure to understand, but
c'est pas qu'ils peuvent pas gagner d'argent dessus, qui préfèrent le dissimuler au grand public, c'est ça?
C'est pas le dissimuler. It's not to hide something. It's just they don't have the tools to use it. Okay. So now it starts to have traditional assets, financial asset. We say ETF. I don't know if you know what is ETF. Yeah. And you have the first ETF on BTC, and you're able to buy ETF on your traditional accounts. And trade accounts, and you can buy some BTC in EFT. So it starts. But it's
Donc, in France, we can buy ETF on BTC. I didn't know that.
everywhere you can. If you have a
Really?
trade place, you can find. You just need to know the code of the asset. That's all. Just have to check on internet.
So now in France, I can go home, I can go back home, go to my bank and buy some ETF Ethereum.
But it's more complicated because they are not traded in France. So you have to have an account open to worldwide and to be able to trade it. So it's not so easy. You have to know if you just start on trading, you cannot.
Okay.
Does this have anything to do with Backed, BAKKT, right? Backed by the New York Stock Exchange Group? And what Grayscale has an ETF style product, right?
I don't have the name. I can do the research to give it to you, but I don't know that now. I don't want to say something is wrong.
I know there is an Ethereum ETF and BTC ETF in Canada. Mm-hmm. So I guess when it's created, any bank can buy some shares globally, I guess. But I don't know exactly how it works. I didn't know we could buy in France. That's a good news, actually.
Yeah, you can buy everywhere, so it's not a problem. So I think the bridge between traditional finance and crypto is going to grow a lot, and many money is going to come. Many money.
Algo has been real strong in their push for DeFi to TradFi, traditional finance, and kind of bridging that gap. And I think that also breeds some misunderstandings and misgivings in the community, because Algorand wants to go mainstream and be somebody, a blockchain that supports like an ETF. And they want to get in with the ISDA, and they want to get in with the government agencies. You see them working on the CBDC projects. And I think that those things, like, nothing works really fast when you're working with the governments and all the red tape that goes along with doing things, what would have been like the traditional path. But with crypto, it probably takes twice as long, which delays everything.
Yeah. But I don't see the tools no in the crypto sphere to make the bridge. Some projects try to do it, but I don't think something very powerful to start now. I think the main project is not built now.
I think we'll see this more in a different protocol than actually through our traditional finances, to be honest. Like kind of like how we're seeing like the Mexi exchange do all the stocks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think we'll see more ETFs do like that. I'm not sure.
I just have one piece of news, like two pieces of news about France and crypto. Is the first one is the investment Societe Generale, one of the biggest in the world, did on Ethereum. They bought I don't know how many millions of Ethereum. It was huge buy. So I'm wondering if they haven't already started to work on an ETF, like a French ETF. And the other one is the Banque de France. I've listened to them, to the talks, and they are in the final phase of selecting the blockchain to build a CBDC. And I don't think it will be Algorand. That would be a good surprise, because I think they want it related to Societe Generale and Ethereum. So that's a piece of news that I had for a few months, and I'm still waiting for the development around it.
Yeah, I read about that too, and I saw another news. It's about it was a few months ago. La Banque d'investissement française, elle invest in the Ariana project. It's kind of token on Ethereum for comment on dit? I don't know in English. Bilal, it's les produits de luxe. I don't know. C'est un token qui va permettre de valider la valeur de certains produits de luxe. Donc, je sais pas, il faudrait regarder sur le site, je me souviens plus. Mais c'est un projet qui est soutenu par les institutions légales françaises.
But you gonna like help translate that? New project.
Yeah.
Legal. You gotta.
Oh,
There's a new
sorry,
project. Try to
my
jump through the
mic was
hoops.
off. Sorry, my mic was off. I
French
thought
is
it
poor.
was on. I was translating, but my mic was off. So the idea is very interesting, is to tokenize luxury products and their authenticity, and that project would be backed by the government. That project, apparently it's called Ariana, and it's basically to guarantee the authenticity of products and based on Ethereum blockchain. I never heard of that. That sounds very interesting. Thank you, Alexandre.
I don't know the detail of the project, but it's something related to luxury goods. But I don't know many things. You can read it. You just check on Google and you can find it.
And I know that Louis Vuitton, which is LVMH, was obviously had Sonny Lee from VeChain, and now he is like the CEO of VeChain. And they have been working with LVMH. So VeChain and LVMH have been working. So maybe they are going to build it on VeChain or Ethereum, maybe. But Ethereum is so expensive. You cannot trace goods with Ethereum. It's too expensive.
Yeah, I've been wanting to hop in like those uni liquidity pools, but right now it's been yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
I think the token name is Aria 20. RRAA.
Thank you. I will check that. Yeah, guys.
What was that,
Did we
bud?
lose you again?
Yeah, he muted himself.
Do we have any questions more? Do we have new questions and any remarks? I think, Alexander, we need your insight from an institutional point of view for the future. It's very interesting.
100%. Pleasure having you here. I appreciate your insight.
Yeah, I try to speak English. I'm sorry, I don't use it every day. Sorry. I'm searching my words.
It's good.
I'm very happy to translate anytime you want. No problem.
Yeah, and I appreciate a lot what you're doing now with Algofam and with this chat on the Sunday. I think it's very, very good. And
Thank you.
And the people coming in this chat speaking are very good. I like to listen all the intervenants, and it's very, very good work. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, Bilal.
Very appreciated. Thank you very much.
I just got one other question from Mike Jones on my channel, who's been fighting a good fight, by the way. I mentioned trolls earlier, and he's been standing his own ground. But he's got a question.
Who?
I got it. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. So you like that impersonation? Will Algorand official wallet eventually be able to react with dApps and NFT galleries like my Algo wallet does?
They're already adding it.
That's actually in the works, right?
Yeah, it's about to come.
So Algodex is going to be
on the Algo wallet.
Be incorporated with the official Algorand wallet. They announced that change.
You can use it on Yieldly soon.
Yeah, what about like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago? They said they're going to open that up, right? I'm actually looking forward to that quite a bit because I like my Algo wallet, but I prefer I would just feel better using the official. I don't know why. Like that's the first one I used. I think you just have your comfort level.
It's such a smooth app.
I would like to be able to filter those though. Like I want a folder in my Algo wallet for all of my NFTs, and I want a folder for a few like these like ASAs like that are
yeah, exactly.
I want to be able to sort them.
I totally agree. You know what? That's exactly what I told the team because on the Discord, Algorand Discord, you have a special channel for Algorand wallet. And I told the team about folders to be able just to to classify the assets differently and more precisely, to not have them in all the same bag. And actually, they said no problem, and I think they will bring it in a few updates. They completely agreed about this idea. So yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like using like my algo as like more of my. I actually like it better than my the official Algorand wallet, to be honest now, just because I can put it on my well encrypted computer, which makes like my biggest holdings like I feel more safer,
Right.
than leaving it on my phone.
My algo is an absolutely great wallet. Like, we take it for granted. It is so smooth. It is so smooth, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue using that, and I might use my, especially when like I don't know Dexes come, like it's still gonna be like my preferred way of trading. I feel like because I don't know, I prefer to like trade and interact on a computer. That's just me.
Yeah,
Like doing it on my phone is I always feel like it's a rough experience.
it is. But I think the fact that sorry, I had to take a different call, so I was like a little tuned out for 5 minutes. But were y'all talking about the fact that they added DApp support to the mobile wallet?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I mean, if you can access Algodex or Tinyman from your phone browser and then have it connect to your mobile wallet, or have a choice to use my algo, I think that's just great. Gives people options.
Yeah, it'll allow more FOMO.
It will allow more FOMO. Actually, a few days ago, my friend had a big event. He throws events for like artists in New York City, and they get really big, and there were like hundreds of people at this one. And because there are a lot of visual artists there, I set up a little table, just onboarding people to teach them about NFTs on Algo. So what I was doing was just waiting for. I set up like a whole like poster boards with like different steps and QR codes, and basically I had a lot of people come up to me, and I set them up with an algo, like a my algo wallet, airdrop them half an algo each just to pay for some fees if they wanted to list something, and then introduce them to AB2 Gallery because it's the cheapest and quickest way to list an NFT. And so I got like a dozen people to just have an algo wallet, and I just thought that was kind of fun to just give these people, I don't know, just introduce them to something that they might end up using, and also just continue to decentralize algos. Like, I was happy to give a little away.
Wow, that is a great project. We should do more of that. Like to introduce. That's the sad part about the ambassador program, because before, like the precedent ambassador program, before this bounty program, we could run those type of events and be rewarded with algos, and now it's finished. Like, we can't really, and many ambassadors were unhappy about it. But that's a great event
that ambassador program was kind of cool while it lasted, wasn't it? We had way more infographics. I don't know if you've noticed, but like on the Twitter space, we don't have nearly as many infographics and promoters like we used to have. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah,
really.
it's a bit of a shame, and many ambassadors told me, like in private message, that they were very unhappy with how it was made, how it was conducted.
Yeah. I think it was one of those things that was like, it's coming, we'll revamp it, but then it never got revamped, it never got renewed. But yeah, I agree, they kind of handled that poorly. There's definitely criticism for Algorand and Algorand Foundation, and much of it is warranted. There's definitely been some heated discussions about tokenomics and delays, or when is the TPS gonna when is that gonna change? And I think all of those things are warranted, and it's good to have those discussions, because even though like we all appreciate Algorand, like we're clearly invested, we're clearly all on board in the project, there are still ways to improve, and I think it's important for the team to hear that kind of feedback, even if it's just as small as on the wallet, hey, get us some folders.
Totally agree.
I've never once heard back from anybody from Algorand or Algorand Foundation that was like, "No, you need to shut up." Monty. You're like, you know what I mean? Like they have always said, "Hey, we appreciate your feedback, even when it's not positive."
Yeah, actually, same. Like when I started Algo HQ, I was expecting if it grew to a certain point, like past 1,000 followers, that the foundation would step in and be like, "Hey, you're reaching a point where we want to like influence what you're saying about," but nothing like that happened at all. In fact, they became more supportive of just the pure kind of journalistic, like, well, we could say whatever. Like, if we want to criticize, like Monty, if we want to criticize, we can. Like, we have the right to. We're not like, we are independent already, but we're also not bound to like get in trouble with like some Algorand person. Like if we are criticizing, I think that's really valuable because there's so much political importance in blockchain and decentralized systems that like you can't, if you're running a blockchain company like Algorand, you can't be silencing your critics. You actually have to like listen to them and if something goes wrong, like I had conversations with the marketing team of Algorand a few times, and they asked if they could help me, and I said the only way you can really help me is just let me make the videos I want to make. And if I want to criticize, then like let me criticize. Like I would rather stay independent. I think that's really valuable. Like as we grow, just to have unbiased people bringing 100%. The news like you and I.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I turned down my Algorand ambassador position. I applied for it, got accepted, but then I changed my mind because I'm like, I'm not sure where I wanted. You know, I'd like to keep criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also am not. I'm not technically an Algorand ambassador because we should be able to say what we want to say, and not have to blindly support everything. Like criticism is key to improvement.
Yeah, I must say, from my point of view, I was an ambassador from I'm still is from the beginning, and I just don't care. You know, when I have something like a criticism, I just say it into the Slack to everybody, and to the top team, etc. I complained about like many things over the years, and I was very rough on the tokenomics at the beginning, and I must say that. Like I was very rough to Kelly, to like the top team, and I must say they were very cool. Like they really took it, and they admitted some problems at the beginning, and I can still find the conversation on Telegram. You would laugh. Like I was like blasting them. And
please find that and send it.
Yeah.
In
yeah, sure.
That sounds really funny.
I saw Tahir on here a little bit ago as well. And
I think
he had the same thing. He was critical at often points, and I never saw any, no lashbacks or anything. I think it was just open.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it used to be rough back. Like I think there still is like an algo price FUD channel. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen it. It's funny to be in though. But
I'd have to create a whole new fake persona to go to that channel now. I would just get blasted, I'm sure.
Right? Oh, dude, yeah, like, oh, it's I was the original Algo Price channel, and then Patrick and them made that other one that we all go to now, because it got so toxic in that old one. Okay, for some backstory.
Is the algo?
Oh,
sorry. I have a question.
Sorry,
if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, hit me,
Is
man.
the Algo Ambassador program still running, or have they shut it down now?
So they changed completely the Algorand Ambassador program. So it's not like a contract like before. It's just bounties. So you just go to this. I forgot. What's the name again of this website?
Git Coin.
I don't remember.
Is it?
Git Coin.
Yeah,
Exactly. But I hate to do that. So I hate to run after like coins like this. So, but so they want people to do that independently and not to be linked to them.
We still technically, like, we all still have like a Slack channel, and a few people post there, but it's not very active now, right?
Yeah, it's mostly, I use it mostly to connect with interesting members of the ecosystem, but the channels are not very active. That is true.
And as far as the marketing is concerned, I think Algo is very poor in terms of the marketing space. So I'm from India, and I'm starting a business soon, and I'm gaining traction. So the reason I wanted to be an Algo ambassador is because I know I can bring adoption. I've convinced 30 people so far to get into Algo, and I've paid my developer using Algorand because he's from Japan. So since PayPal's fees was 6%, while Algo was 0.01 Algos, so it was pretty convenient to send across the money via Algorand. And so I believe I can bring adoption, and I've contacted Algorand Foundation multiple times. But this whole Git Coin bounty system, it's more oriented towards developers rather than use case scenarios. So I don't like it personally.
Wait. So you're talking? They actually have marketing bounties for the Git Coin. I've actually.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out then.
Yeah. So if you go to that site, I was confused at first too, but go to their website with the Git Coin bounties, and then with the filters, X out Algo Dev, and just X out all the filters and just look up Algorand, and then all of them will show up. And they're like, I got one worth like $50 in Algo or something, for a TikTok I did like a while ago, and so it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
like,
there is a marketing one. True.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out then. It's something.
There's marketing one. There's one here, create an Algorand promotional podcast. Like, to be honest, like this probably would count.
Do you guys want to host
design.
rooms in Clubhouse maybe once a week? I'm down. I have my own club called Step into the Future. I'm paid to talk on this different app called Avalon Scenes, which is similar to Clubhouse. But I recently moved back to Clubhouse because I stopped getting paid there. They stopped, same way Algorand stopped their ambassador program, they stopped their Elite Creator Club. And so because of that, I moved back to Clubhouse. So I'm starting to revamp that whole club. And I am an Algo Maxi myself, so I'm going to be talking a lot about Algorand. But there is an Algorand club as well, but it's very inactive and sad. I think we can bring a lot of hype to it.
We tried the Clubhouse for our first one, and we just we felt it was easier to connect with the actual Algo community through Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you want to try both? Like maybe we'll have every alternate week we switch between each of them.
You can broadcast this Twitter space to your Clubhouse if you want.
No, not to my Clubhouse. My Clubhouse, it's fine. I do. The reason is I'm trying to first create awareness around crypto in India before I start shilling Algo everywhere. I already shill Algo everywhere pretty much. There are a lot of crypto rooms in here, and a lot of crypto rooms. I'm a part of the Mile High Crypto Club of UK, and I'm a moderator there. So yeah, I've already got a lot of adoption in terms of getting people on Algo and making them believe in the concept. I believe I can do a lot more of it as well in the coming. And now that I know that I'm paid for I can get paid for marketing it, I'm definitely going to go down that route.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, but I believe Clubhouse is a huge space, especially for the crypto in the crypto space, because if you open a crypto room in Clubhouse, it at least gets around 80 to 90 listeners, and that's 80 to 90 people you can convince about Algorand. We need to put a little clickbaity title and make sure it's oriented more towards crypto than Algorand, and then direct the room towards Algorand. So that way we can create mass adoption over time.
Yeah, maybe we can talk. Think about something together and try to do something between Clubhouse and Twitter. That's a good idea, actually.
So yeah, I'm pretty. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
sure.
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm pretty caught up with my business starting on August 15th. It's not so for the next couple of weeks I'm going to be really tied down. But after I get into the rhythm, I should be a little better off. So then, do you guys want to like maybe create a Twitter group, and the same group will be moderating the Algorand the Algorand Clubhouse.
Yeah, we can talk about all that in September. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's perfect. Sounds great, and hopefully they don't remove the Git Coin bounties by then. Because yeah, and what is your take on Yieldly?
Bullish on Yieldly, my man.
Very bullish.
Yeah, and especially when the airdrop, so the 4,000 Yieldly, I was pretty hyped about it. So I'm a student myself. I'm 20 years old, and I put most of my money into my business, and so I couldn't put too much into Algo. But whatever I put into Algo, I made sure that majority of it is in Yearly because of the 11.8% APY. It's great. I'm having a lot of fun around with it.
I think it's great. I hope the project really takes off. There is a cool website by Josh LMFAO, right? I think, did I say that right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right. I'm trying to say the words out loud.
Josh.
Right? Anyway, Josh put together the site. It's a cool tracker. You got to go check it out, and it'll let you track like who's staked what, how much they're staked for, algos versus Yieldly.
Yeah.
And also,
it's very detailed now, dude. He put some work into that.
It gives you rate of return estimated, of course. But so if you want to if you would decide, hey, I want to put in $500 worth of algo, is it better to stake it in the algo prize games? And what are the factors there? Or should I convert that much to Yieldly or split the two? How many Yieldly would I get on Mexi? And it's interesting to see what the higher rate of return on Yieldly versus algo if you just take the lottery portion out of it. I don't know, but I find it amazing.
I love the whole concept as a whole. It's one of the best liquidity pools I've seen so far, and I think it has a lot more scope than what it's dishing out right now. It can be bigger than Alpay and things like that.
I feel like when Opalupus gets close to launching, there's when we're going to watch Yieldly fly too, because a lot of people are going to want to buy Yieldly to stake to get Opulus as well too.
True. Let's see. I'm super hyped for Algo. Like I already want to incorporate an Algorand payment system for my business. It's something on my roadmap as well. So yeah, since it's oriented towards sustainability is my sin of choice, and I'm all for sustainable capitalism, and because of that, Algorand is right down my alley. And since its tech is so strong, it's something that I'm going to be shilling every year for the rest of my life, I guess.
Have you heard of PayScript, Ram?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, PayScript is where you buy devices on Algorand, right? Using Algorand.
Well, it's a payment portal.
It's a payment system,
Yeah. So
if you want to learn more about it, you can text me, you can DM, and I will make sure we can help you with your business.
For sure.
I work with them.
The only reason I'm not incorporating it right now is because first I need to create awareness and then create the wow factor, because I'm also using the payment gateway as PR for my business. So if I put too many features in the start itself, it'll look like, oh, just another startup trying to pack everything into one box. Over time, if I start opening up the box, that's when people will start appreciating it for what it is. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing it for now.
Interesting. If you want to implement, and if you have questions about it, just tell me. Okay.
For sure. Thanks, Bilal. I'll definitely do it.
Welcome.
And guys, my algo, the place where I shill algo is AlgoCat. I barely post anything about Algorand here. It's more or less like my shit posting account. But yeah, I'll definitely, Bilal, I follow you from AlgoCat, so I'll definitely DM you from there.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was a great talk.
Yeah. Good combo today.
We got it very long again, like 2 hours again.
Yeah.
We always go 2 hours now. It's seeming almost normal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, it's good that gives people time to come in, because people come in and out.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And you never know when they're going to come in. Yeah.
Good deal.
And also, we discover new members like Ram and Alexander, and I love that freedom to connect to and to grow the community. Really,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I tuned in today. I stayed up a little later than I normally would, and
Awesome.
I found this place. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on stage for now.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to stay up late next week to stay up with Bilal's like Asian Australian connection chat. I don't know what time that is in Texas,
What time
but
is that?
it was brutal.
What time is that for
So
us?
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
morning for the US. For you in the US, it's in the morning. So it's 2 p.m. Paris. So you have 6 hours late, I think, to
yeah,
Paris.
so it's 1 a.m. here. The only reason I'm up is
So,
because I
yeah.
was tidying up a little bit of work that was left. But yeah, I
Mm.
mostly will be up for the next couple of weeks. I don't know when I'm going to catch enough sleep because with the business launching soon. But yeah, but because of that, I will be here in these rooms, and
Yeah.
I'll be working simultaneously while listening to all of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome. I think the Australian room is very interesting because they are super innovative. Like you have Yieldly, Algomint, like you have all the project that really counts. They will come first
Well,
from
Yieldly's in they're in Singapore.
yeah, it's the same time zone. But he's Australian, like Seb is Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's where innovation starts, and I think it's a good idea to follow both of the chats because we learn a lot from, especially Michael Cotton will be more present. So he's the co-host for the Australian chat and the Asian chat. So I think it's a good idea just to
Yeah.
listen to him. He's a real genius.
Will you make sure to
Well,
invite me
Algo
to that chat too? I don't think I'm in that one yet.
Yeah, sure. I invite every one of you for sure.
Algomint's going to help Yieldly out a lot, so I imagine they've been talking and working closely together.
Yes.
Because Yieldly has a multi-coin lottery that's coming out eventually.
Yeah, that's with
I imagine
Algomint.
will
Yeah.
bring. Yeah.
They talk to
Imagine that's
each other pretty often. So with PayScript too, it's what I call them
Yeah.
the Australian connection because they're all connected and they all know each other and they work around the foundation with Jason Lee, who is based in Melbourne, and everybody's connected in Melbourne, Brisbane, and Sydney. So it's a great hub actually.
nice, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, I have to stay up one night for that.
Yeah, it was it. I can send you the US time when I verify the time, and I will send you the link,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, just send me the link so I can just see it get the reminder, and it'll tell me my
Okay.
my native time.
Okay. Cool.
All right, gentlemen, I've got to go direct traffic. I was mid move and I took 2 hours off. Now I got to go
Thank
see
you
if all
so
my
much.
boxes made the right spots.